story on Facebook that says people aren't treated the same in prison, but like, it's prison. Isn't everybody supposed to be treated similarly because they're like criminals? Aren't criminals supposed to get punished?
Yeah, Marla, that actually makes a lot of sense. Everyone should be treated equally and be equally disciplined.
Actually, it's been proven that people aren't treated the same in the prison system. Racism within the prison system is rampant, and it impacts many different groups such as Indigenous people, people of color, and Black bodies.
I agree with Vic. It's a systemic issue that impacts Black women at higher rates.
Black women facing discrimination in prison, that's unheard of. Colonialist ideologies died a while ago, fam. I'm with Marla on this one. People go to prison because of the crime that they've committed, not because of their race.
Yeah, didn't racism end in like the 60s after like the Jim Crow laws were like rescinded?
Yeah, and wasn't that in the States? I mean, Canada is based on the equitable treatment of its peoples, right? So Canada can't be racist. I mean, at least not that racist.
Okay, no. Racism is still a thing. Black women are being incarcerated in Canada at a significantly higher rate than their white counterparts. From 2010 to 2012, the number of Black women in prison grew by 54%. Public Service Foundations of Canada reported that 9.5% of federal inmates today are Black, yet Black Canadians account for less than 3% of the population.
Yeah, Black women are hyper-policed, hyper-vilified, and incarcerated in a much higher percentage than white people based on the color of their skin. Some policing, like Hardin, are extremely racist, and they focus on criminalizing people of color, like Black women.
But what if they've just done more crime? I mean, if they've done the crime, they should do the time. Besides, aren't like women treated better than men in the prison system?
No. There is zilch information that correlates with this. What we see in Canada is that Black Canadians in prison are more likely to face force from guards, and they are also less likely to get work in prison. Black prisoner unemployment is 7%, while the rate for all prisoners is just 1.5%. Black prisoners are less likely to be released on parole.
Yeah, we need to realize that sexual assault happens at higher rates with female prisoners. Al Jones states that sometimes there's coercion between female prisoners and male guards. I don't think people understand or think too hard about it. We need to understand that there's systematic violence that heightens with Black bodies in the prison system.
Violence isn't that big of a deal. We need to be tough on crime. Besides, they all receive the same quality of living.
That's the thing. Not all women require the exact same treatment. Black women have different hygiene needs. Black hair requires a lot more maintenance than white hair, and a lack of access to products can be physically damaging to their hair.
But how can hair be that important?
Black hair is actually a huge part of African culture, especially when it comes to empowerment. And when you take away someone's ability to generate self-worth, you can ruin their self-confidence. And that doesn't sound rehabilitative, if you ask me.
Okay, but once the offenders are released, isn't their experience the same? I mean, it must get at least a little bit better when they do get out.
Wrong again. Women are far more likely to struggle with reintegration. Not only are they less likely to find employment, they also face difficulty in creating meaningful relationships. This then leads to a higher chance of poverty. Roughly 25% of African Canadian women face poverty, compared to the 6% that white women face.
Well, isn't the prison system supposed to rehabilitate them so that they can figure out how to escape poverty? Isn't that the main purpose of prison, or do they just like sleep out and like walk around all day?
The prison system is supposed to be rehabilitative, but unfortunately it's not. That's why we have to have conversations about these injustices.
Increased studies and conversation can help further the chance of enacting change in the Canadian prison system, which in turn helps us all.
Yeah, maybe you are right. The prison system isn't what we thought it was, and it does need a lot of change. Heck, maybe even prison abolition.
Okay, calm down there. We'll get there one day. But for now, what we need to do is start having conversations about either improving the system we currently have, finding a replacement for it, or even just improving our society to the point where we no longer need a prison system. But for now, I just want to say thanks to you guys for teaching us about the experiences that Black women have in the prison system. We had no idea. Thanks a lot.
Skin is skin is skin, but when the skin you're in means sin, you just can't win. The ideologies of neoliberalism are engraved in the systems of oppression. That's my confession, so listen up, I'm stressing. They put a rope around our throats and call it freedom. They put a rope around our throats and call it progress. The incarceration of the Black females at a rate of 349 for every 1,000 individuals brought to prison. We have cultural degradation, the purposeful neglection of human dignity. They belittle our minds, bodies, and soul in a climate in which purposely degrades and socially destroys us. We ain't nothing more than numbers that line the pockets of the rich. We're slaves for sale, but our masters live not in plantations, but in the office of administration. The Klansmen no longer chase us with the brown rope of freedom. They hang us now with sentences that stretch decades, the weapons of choice of the courtrooms that perpetuate the ideologies of the carceral system. A death sentence of the free, we're no longer human beings, but dead man walking. Do you see the light at the end of the tunnel? He's calling your name, the new Jim Crow. Soaking in the tears of my sister, the generational trauma that persists like a lash of a whip. But they don't see it because they're colorblind, so they don't understand the reason why we cry. The victimization of the black woman is normalized, the pain criminalized, our existence compromised because we're demonized. We go unnoticed by the persons who are sworn to uphold and protect us. They make us docile bodies as they aim to tear away the layers of blackness. We can never be the victims because we don't fit the image of whiteness. Your skin, remember, your skin is made of gold and covered in diamonds. Don't let them take away your throne. My black is here to stay. My black don't melt away. The blood of my people is spilled in your hands. You try to strip away our might, but God is on our side. If she said you're evil, she will take away your light. So baby, close your eyes. You'll find peace in the next light.
Criminology is a study of criminal behavior. It is a field full of different theoretical approaches and understandings of certain issues in regards to why people commit crime. However, we have to be critical of criminology and the power of the carceral state and how it holds power not only over those who are criminalized, but everyone. When looking at racialized bodies within the carceral system, we are faced with even more issues compounding around our racist and colonial society. The purpose of this video was to introduce the issues of the present system for Canadian Black women within our world. We hope to have ignited an idea or a thought of the world that we live in and how it is different for others in our society. Please follow the new thoughts and ideas we have sparked within your minds and look further into the carceral system and alternatives to our current ways. Thank you.